Yes, there in the game board it is very clear, Bhakti is the one arrow which leads us directly to cosmic consciousness, so which can bring enlightenment directly. All others, they are more indirect. They bring us somewhere, but then from this somewhere we still have to move forward, and might also at some point again have to come down a little. And I want to emphasize that when, as you explain it, we are passing cosmic consciousness, no? Then okay, we have to reach tamoguna, no? The tamas energy, so that we can return to earth and then again move upwards, trying not to miss it this time. But we are still there on quite a high level. We are still there actually on level of 6th chakra when we come down with this tamoguna snake. I don't have the game in front of me, but that's how I remember it. And so, yeah, I think the conclusion that is often drawn from that Bhakti Yoga is the best, if not the only path, is the wrong conclusion. Because it is personal, whatever suits a person, and it is also never, I believe, exclusive. Because we are thinking creatures, we are feeling creatures, we are acting creatures. So then anyhow bhakti is necessary on the level of feeling. Whichever way, even if this feeling of love for the divine is towards in totally impersonal, like non-religious form of the divine, or whether it is towards a more personal form or desired form or appreciated form, like a Hindu god or Jesus or Buddha or whichever. But some feeling is needed. Some feeling of love is needed, because that means that you feel connected to the divine. You want to join your divine self. So you need to feel that connection. And only if you feel there that connection, you want to join. So it's impossible actually without bhakti, but at the same time it's also impossible without jnana. Without some idea in your mind, some thoughts that make up your mind about where you are going, what you want to do there, how you're going to do it, and so on. So this is jnana. And then some action is always also needed, even if it is limited to meditation, which you could say is a non-action, but still, as long as you are not in deep meditation, meditation still is an action, which is why willpower is needed. So these three you can never avoid. And I would say together they lead us to enlightenment finally. The main thing is that we should have an attitude that there is no hurry, that enlightenment can wait, that we just let it happen, and then it can happen. As long as there is an urgency, as long as we are actually trying to escape, then it can never happen. Because when we are trying to escape, it means we are still attached to something. Only when we can let go of that attachment, it no longer becomes an escape. It just becomes a rising of the energy and a letting go of whatever is personal to reach the impersonal divine. Whatever effort is there, that you control, but what is the result? You never have control. And that is true for everything in life. You can give the best talk to a depressed person, but whether that will help him or not is entirely up to that person. And to the karma, in the sense of, is it the right moment for that person to really get something, really change something, really step out of it? It's the same thing. There's a right time for everything. You need all of them. You cannot escape it. Because, as long as you think, you need jhana. As long as you feel, you need bhakta. As long as you are doing something, you need karma yoga. So these three you can never escape. And then trying to do nothing at all, not thinking, not acting, not feeling, that is Ashtanga Yoga, where you learn to really shut down the whole thing and, go inside, in silence, in inaction, in neutral feeling. So that is then Ashtanga. And then Tantra Yoga plays a very particular role there, because in a way Tantra Yoga combines these four. And the combination of that is what then creates that, let's say, magic for which Tantra Yoga is known. That magic is only possible because at the same time you are acting with a certain feeling and with a certain understanding and with the silence of deep meditation, let's say. Only then you can really do it. That is very essential also whenever I do a healing. Whenever I do a ritual, then the ritual is the action. But at the same time, there is the feeling which is so much needed. Otherwise the thing cannot work. There's the love. And at the same time, there is also understanding of what is the problem and what is the solution and how, we can work with that. And at the same time, there must also be this silence, this, how should I say, being centered, so that you are not in any way brought on a side track, or take anything personal or something like that. So it is all of them together. And then which mixture you make, how many percentage of Bhakti, how many percentage of Jnana, how many percentage of Karma Yoga, etc., that is your own choice, somewhat depending on your personality, which then actually relates to the body type. Those who are more Vata dominated are more thinking than other people. They need more Jnana. But they also need Bhakti, because usually those Vata dominated people, they are very, very much, thinking, and so they are too much in the mind, and they have no connection to their feeling. And they also need action, because, they are too much in the head and not enough in the body. So, likewise, a Pitta person, they will more want to act, they will want to change something, do something, change the world, whatever. So, okay, they go for that. They do Karma Yoga. But if they do it without any understanding, it will not bring anything. If they do it with the wrong feeling, like in a way, trying to force something instead of letting it come at the right time, so then also it cannot work. And then those who are more Kapha dominated, they will mostly tend towards devotion. They will love to chant and gather flowers and, hug everybody and things like that. But Bhakti without Jnana, without understanding, is blind and creates all these problems associated with religion, where people think my God is the only God, is the best God, and your God sucks. You find that even among the Bhaktas in India, who are, for example, Krishna devotees, they are so much fond of Krishna that whichever other deity they see, they feel it's not even a god, that Krishna is the only god. Even among Bhaktas in India, you can find that kind of stupidity in the sense that whenever we study what is the divine, then the formless nature of it is always clearly coming out. So then whatever form we make from it is our own, and our way also to work with the mind and work with our entire being, be fully engaged, be able to feel that love, to feel love for the formless divine is possible, but much more difficult than to feel love for the divine with form. And so in that way, we do that, but always remembering that this is just our form, and nothing to do with what is the reality behind it. Okay, this mistake is so often made, and who makes it? The ego, of course, who likes to believe that his God is the best God and the others are sucking. I once had a discussion about it at a Hare Krishna center, and there the teacher, he agreed with me, yes, the formless divine, but he said that above that, or beyond that formless divine, Krishna is there. And I thought that was actually very creative of him to kind of imagine that this whole universe with form, and then that formless divinity above it, and then above that, this young guy with a peacock feathered hat and, playing the flute and looking very attractive. I thought I was very creative, but at the same time, of course, it's feeling very absurd to think something like that. But that was how he tried to escape the question, which actually did not come from me, but from one of my students who was with me there and who couldn't not ask the question. Bhaktas, they can become a little bit crazy, and that is not a bad thing. It can make them very devoted and also reaching deeper states of meditation and ecstasy, let's say, through this power of love. But at the same time, yes, they can become a little bit crazy in their understanding, and from there make some really important mistakes, and then I cannot imagine how the bhakti that they have can bring them to cosmic consciousness, as it is shown in the Leela board game. Some jhana must be there. Harishchandra always said, jhana without bhakti is dry intellectual, and bhakti without jhana is blind, no longer seeing reality. So both are needed. And as I said, we are creatures that are thinking, that are feeling, that are acting, and maybe sometimes doing nothing. Those are the 4 only things that we actually do in life. For these 4 things, we need then a yoga.